It's very intimidating because everything can go wrong. It's like all like
Yeah.
right there, and if you don't quite know, it's all a little liberating because you just get to sit, you just show up and talk, and then it's over, turned off. So
For me, it's fine. Like on my side, like looks good. I can restart it, I
yeah,
guess.
just really can't, right? It's I've been looking into other solutions that would let things work a little bit smoother. OBS Ninja is one, for example, but it just that it started to cross my eyes. I need like a how-to guide. Oh, there we go. I see you again.
Screen sharing. We
Mm-hmm.
used OBS and like Twitch stuff to do the stream, and then we use Skype computer. I have like three screens, and on each screen there's like one of these programs, and then I just put them all together with hardware acceleration.
Yeah, it actually like I've crashed the computer a few times because I'm doing too many
Oh,
thing on it. Like
yeah,
I'm trying to render a video. I to like open a two like four browser tabs, just crashes. So
yeah.
I'm used to the struggle. Is basically what I'm saying. It was good as any
Cool.
because obviously this will go on a post recorded thing and let's just get this going. So hey everyone, it is the happy wonderful time of the year slash week known as Friday. I have a great show ahead of you and let's just hit the intro and get right into it. Yeah, so hey everybody, once again happy Friday. I'm joined by the fun and wonderful Ben Nitschke, or also known DeltaEngine is your company, right?
Yes.
And so like for a while I thought it was just like an alias, but then I saw, that and I
Yeah.
was looking up it on Odysee, which is nice. So hey everyone, thanks for watching on. All right. So quick little recap of everything around here. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, in the description there's a link to the Odyssey stream. So you can get a little message and then hit the little credit thing behind it and turn it into a hyper chat, which gets highlighted, makes me much more likely to actually answer and stuff. Now you can, if you don't do any of that, if you just have other coins, like Dash is the most popular one with me, you can go to coin to screen, which I haven't figured out my setup on doing that on Odyssey yet, but we'll eventually get there. And so, which reminds me from last week, kind of a station with the "Where's Ryan gone forever?" A very little in joke about Anne. Yeah, good times. Oh, honestly, just great.
Is it like the overlay stuff that you have on the screen? Is it like made by you, or is it just
Yes,
standard components?
yes, I basically made it. It
Cool.
just used a gradient and then
Starting a live stream on a coding podcast, and we are trying to like do all this stuff, but it's still very basic. We only have like some pictures and
go into the news thing because we're supposed to talk about news on this show. At least that was the original thing. But then it tends to be like, oh, we just mentioned a couple. Latin American e-commerce platform adds 7.8 million in Bitcoin to its treasury, which Mercado Libre crypto for certain real estate transactions, but not like generally as a payment processor. Yet they're buying Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, and then sort of enabling Bitcoin for purchases, and then they disabling it. And it just seems like it's the idea aren't as bad. It's still like much more complicated than it is. It's a lot easier to just buy into Bitcoin, be like, yeah, this is the future, but we're not actually using it.
they're not doing anything with it. It's not a technology for them. It's just an investment.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is it was like the investment it's like a speculative going to be a technology for the future and that people are going to be using this, and it's kind of like people are by actually like integrating it yet, or some of them are trying. It's
Yeah.
still at that age where we're still at that spot where it's just hard. There's a barrier. It's just hard to get over that barrier and just get to where.
Think like it's just because Bitcoin price is high, then they want to be in the news. They buy at the high. Like they
Hmm.
didn't buy it when it was 3,000 or 6,000 Bitcoin. It's just because everyone talks about it. We want to be in it. So let's buy whatever the price is. And
Yeah,
7.8 million is,
processor in Latin America, that's not very much at all.
yeah, for them it's like 0.1% of something. Like doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot more than the percentage of the payments they process in cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
I bet, which is it's kind of
I
funny.
think for the news, it's huge because this
Yes.
gets other people to buy and like the whole wait the risk. So let's do it.
Yeah, and it's kind of it sort of reminds me of the whole like Dogecoin thing, which we're in the age of Doge, which is why I have this
Oh
pillow
no.
behind me because it just people are getting like crazy about Doge, and I'm not like on and think it's going to be the future. Like they're starting to think everyone's gonna like there are not many people. Well, I don't know how many,
Yeah.
but not a lot of serious people. But
Newbies.
but there's a lot of newbies who are buying in, actually thinking it's going somewhere, and then yeah, so Bitcoin people are saying like there was some Bitcoin maximalist dude who now made some tweet about he's saying we should 51% attack every single coin because it's Doge is an attack on Bitcoin. Mad because they're like we have legit projects, Doge isn't, and kind of true, yeah, but like you didn't lose to Doge in a like people are playing games for money, and some people are going to get hurt by it. By the way, right? But
Yeah.
there's a lot of big whales playing games to make money. It's just eighth place. We should be number 5 when Doge is like.
Yeah.
That's why I have the Doge up there is just to remind people we're in clown world right now. Don't.
Why should Bitcoin be like 10 times more worse than a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
Like when the big Corona crash was, like it makes no sense. There was no fundamental reason for it. It's just all hype and speculation. And this is 100% the same for Dogecoin. And it's the same for all the other coins in the top. It makes all no sense. So why should Dogecoin makes no sense, but all the other ones don't make much sense either. So it's not because something happened and now, oh, that's cool. It's a new update. Now the price goes up because everyone is using it. No one is using it. It's all the Dogecoin that is the top 10. Ethereum has a lot of use cases. Binance Coins has crazy amount of use cases. Dogecoin doesn't have many use cases except for speculation, and maybe Ripple as well. Tether is used for trading, and then the other ones all have some use cases again.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even say it's sad that Bitcoin still doesn't really have a use case except for holding and speculation. There's no other use case, I think.
Because it's the use case is the payments use case was very clear at the beginning. Extra use cases that are there today, which are not inherent to the technology. They're kind of inherent to its position in the marketplace. And there's some that are inherent to the technology. For example, the mother code base thing, where a whole lot of projects backport to it. So this is it's the source. It's like the most worked through code, according to a lot of people. It's the one that you can trust. So that's like the most stable.
Affect the price, I would say.
Yeah. And I keep telling people, just like I have this just like I have the Doge reminder in the background there. I
Yeah.
keep
How much is it worth now? Is it 10 times up as well?
possibly because I don't know. I know like 2 other people who have the watch. It's one of those things, except I can't digitally transfer the Doge pillow.
Yeah.
But it's same thing with Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin is going to stop being the number 1 coin until everyone has it, until every single person, and like barring some sort of a like, for example, we're live streaming on Odysee right now, which is built on the library blockchain, and if that video site, which is I think is over 22 million users right now, if that number grows to like mainstream, but not because of the token, people don't know anything about the library blockchain using
Yeah.
Odysee, and so it's the same thing. Like say there's a you know Dash or a Bitcoin Cash or some app that gets used by everyone and it hits mass adoption, it's still like the token itself caring about it. Let's pay you a Nesh. What's that? It's the thing that is in the app that everyone uses. Oh, really? Like Bitcoin is the one that has to go first as far as I'm able to tell. But once everyone has it, like now everyone can start seeing the other coins, and then we'll see that sort of thing happen.
Yeah. And most people don't care. Like if you go to the supermarket, you get some supermarket points. You go to a vacation, you have some vacation coin thingy going on. And as long as you can get in and out, you don't care about the other currencies. So people are very flexible in their mind to adopt like any kind of token or thing. Like if they get like something for free, they're usually all about it. Like we can see that in games, like free-to-play games. They have all their own strange kind of way to convert like normal currency to the in-game currency, and usually you
Yeah.
cannot convert it back, so it's a bit unfair. but players like understand this very, very quickly. Like then you know in your head automatically, oh, this is the amount I have. Basically, this is the worth I have in the game, even though it's all numbers on the screen.
Like way too many times before. I know a guy who, back before crypto, he was playing RuneScape and he was mining RuneScape gold to sell.
Yeah,
And well, he was out like at work and and stuff like that. He couldn't be there, so he had a bot, and then they banned bots, and so he had a little mouse events bot that literally moved his mouse around the screen. So his little people were running across and mining RuneScape gold all day long, and he was like selling them for a lot of quote real money. And it was kind of funny. It was like crypto mining before crypto existed. So I guess I've only heard the hype surrounding things like atomic swaps and Thorchain and things like that. But once you have trust, like a trustless working instant DEX type conversion service, that then all of a sudden that becomes really easy, because you play whatever game, you get the game tokens, and then if you want to cash out, you just swap those tokens immediately for something else like Dash that you can spend, for example, or you go in with
that's
Bitcoin
good.
and stuff. And at that
Changed like in the publishers and the mindset of the players, because currently they don't expect it. But I think that's the future. Like you should be able, let's as it should be in the future. And then I just want to change it to something else in some other system. And how do I get from my system to that system? And it should be just a click of a button. Like it doesn't matter if it's some game, if I have like Netflix credit, if I have some like stuff that I worked for and someone gave me something and I want to now convert it and get some goods for it. Like it should be all easy. And currently the only thing that we have is our dollars or euros.
the tokens themselves for other things of value
Yeah.
without first converting to real money. And I'm sure there's like, how many, for example, fast food restaurants do you think would at some point in the future take something like World of Warcraft Gold, again using an old reference, but
Yeah.
like, and not necessarily for everything, but they'd be like, if you give this, free promo with this, and they'd partner with the game company or whatever to do a thing. And so pretty soon, I'm sure you could find whole economies where their fast food restaurant was giving away Bitcoin to people. And it's like, it's right there to where you don't need, like, I think a lot of people are thinking too linearly for adoption. Like they're thinking,
Yeah.
oh well, people have to start getting paid in this stuff, and then they have to demand, get their merchant to accept it directly. And it's kind of happening more laterally within things. Like a company buys stuff, and then this one can't really hold it, or it's very interesting to see the whole space
Yeah,
go.
I totally agree. Like, I think most businesses like don't care where the money is coming from. Like, I don't care how I get paid. Like,
Hmm.
someone could pay me in crypto, pay me in PayPal or dollars or euros. As long as it's money, it's money. And I think most businesses, like a fast food chain, they just want to sell their burgers, and they don't
Hmm.
care if they have 10 payment providers. As long as most like technology companies, for example, the porno industry, like they don't care like how they get your money, and they like ways that go around the traditional ways, because credit cards can be blocked, bank accounts can be blocked, like around all this stuff. But if there's other,
Yeah, that's for sure. And one thing I really like to see is just the one thing I like about new tech, new things, is there's not a lot of regulation around it, which just
yeah,
lets things explode and flourish, and
that's
which
cool.
kind of ties into unfortunately its users who traded more than 20,000 US dollars worth of things.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean 20,000's not a lot. Like,
From 2016, you could have like, I don't know, I don't know, 5 Bitcoins, which was back then like, I don't know, $2,000, and then you sold them like 2 years later. Even though you didn't sell the spike, you would have traded more than 20,000 easily.
yeah,
That
well,
is crazy.
and the reality is it's kind of like the escalating regulatory environment figured out that crypto was kind of valuable and that people were making a lot of money on it, and they just said everyone should declare, everyone like report your crypto on your thing, and like 200 people did, or it was something like really small, almost no one did. And
Yeah,
then
with
later,
millions of users. Yeah.
and then people to like get on, and then they've sent out some like like menacing letters that are just to anyone they know had anything to do with crypto. They just sent some menacing letter, and then that got everyone to, or a lot of people, to scared and they start, okay, I'll give you all this money. And so basically like they know a lot of people are making money and not giving it to the tax authorities, and then they're just like shaking the tree. And there's
You made like
no,
I don't know.
no.
It's too long ago. Like
Hmm.
I don't know.
And the
Maybe
diff
I think from last year and this year I have like a rough idea, but like from 5 years ago I have no clue.
yes. And I think there's a lot of
Would be like in California, do you know like what would the tax implication be? Is it just added to your normal income and then you have to be taxed like the same way
I think
or?
it's capital gains, so it's taxed at a very
Ah,
much
okay.
higher rate.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
US has a bad tax environment on that, but traded, did you make capital gains? And I'm pretty sure they're mostly still just going after exchanges and like bank activity type thing. Like you put this much money in, you got this much money out. There's clearly this much profit that you didn't report on.
And
That's definitely not, but they're starting somewhere, and that's just that's just California for now. But
yeah.
they're definitely shaking out the tree and trying to find more people to do that with. The thing that people always get really upset, like crypto people are like, oh, this is terrible. They're violation of privacy. Never use Kraken again. Never use Coinbase or something like that. And I'm like, but that's even if they haven't just found a way to get it yet. It's just that's what it is. That's why you go on exchanges. You want to be part of the regulated.
So in Germany, it's very good. Like there's some old rule from stocks. They want to
Hmm.
basically help people that hold and invest in stocks. And after 1 year of holding any stock, you could basically have a tax or something a long time ago. And it was still like going on for 10 more years. So around 5 years ago, it stopped be working. And now it's basically the same. It doesn't matter if you trade day trade or not day trade. Like as an investor, you have to pay the same first in, first out. So you bought
Hmm.
something 5 years ago, you sell it now, even though in between you bought and sold. You basically will first have to sell your first buy, and obviously that will be a high winning, and then you have to tax that, and it's like really high. It's like 30%. And the good thing is for crypto, there's still the old rule applies. So it's really stupid. It makes no sense.
Hmm.
But for crypto, you can any crypto that you want to hold, you just have all the tax accountants, the official tax office, and so on. They don't really understand it. Like it's very hard to explain. Like, oh, there's crypto here, and obviously, as a company, the easiest way is to always use whenever you receive money. Let's say any, obviously, you didn't make any winnings, any losings, and that's basically the way as a company usually does it. Because it's too complicated to get involved with all this kind of trading rules. Um,
Yeah, and I think in the future, when we have more stability on some of these things, that will kind of be the thing. Because also, there's going to be so many tokens. It's so easy to make tokens of any kind
yeah,
or new blockchains that at some point, like all these kinds of rules are just they're not going to work. And I think
exactly. Like, yeah.
people are going to
I,
have to basically say, you know, find a way to tax on what goes in, like is in you what you bill for. Like just say bill like when you spend. Whatever the value is that you
yeah.
spend, it's just like you pay a portion of tax there. I think that oddly enough, crypto might make taxation a lot more efficient, which could
Yeah,
be a
it's way easier. Yeah, you could like build it into the payment providers. The payment provider would immediately like send the text to the tax office and problem solved. Like you
mm-hmm.
don't even care who it is. It could be completely anonymously, respectively, or how does it work?
Nothing changed as far as I know. There have been propositions to make some rules more stringent. I think the only thing
Ah.
that's changed is enforcement. Like they've started to
So the same rules were in place like 5 years ago, but people just didn't know about it.
yeah, or they didn't have an enforcement mechanism that worked really
Ah,
well.
okay.
And so,
Because here in Germany, we still know the old rule is in place, but everyone who did what? Like, I
mhm.
don't know. Most of my transactions didn't happen on any exchange, and I have no clue. Like, I could maybe reconstruct most of them by using my own like node, but I don't think the tax office has any node, and it doesn't know which transaction belongs to.
You actually are a crypto user, like oh, I got
Exactly.
this. I'm going to move it to this wallet. I'm going to try mixing here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a token swap on this thing, and
Yeah,
I'm going to. And now you just have a bunch of random inputs and outputs and
yeah,
just everywhere. And they're like, what are these? Where'd they come from? I
yeah.
don't know. Someone.
Just use Dash, like, or use Wasabi, and then You don't
Yeah.
even know. Like it's too complicated. It's too many, and like it's a big mess.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I really anticipate, and by anticipate I mean I don't necessarily believe it's coming soon, but I really hope it comes. Right, is some kind of a clarity on actual spending. The thing is,
Hmm.
right now, price, and then I sell it. On that increase in price, I owe capital gains. That's supposedly the way it works. Now, so a lot of people would just say, I'm not sure if a lot of people, but some people would just try to spend it instead. I'm just going to trade it and stuff. It's like barter basically. And that basically works, except then they clarified, well, that's considered like a taxable event too. When I bought it, I'm supposed to have, yeah, I'm supposed to, supposedly pay taxes on that. And then at that point, it becomes a little bit difficult, right? Because you're like, well, do I have to keep track of every single transaction, every little thing? And it's completely infeasible to do that kind of a thing. And not to
Yeah.
mention, if I, so for example, I got some euros here, right? I, I traded Dash for them, but didn't trade other fiat for them. But so if I buy some euros, let's say with USD, and then they the euro does way better than the dollar, and then I go to Europe on a vacation.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're a day trader, but what if you're just like you
Yeah.
buy currency and spend it?
No.
Like no,
No
basically.
one cares. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
same like for crypto, no one cares. But yeah, they
yeah,
want to make some rules.
yeah, and so there have been some because crypto's so volatile right now still,
Yeah.
and won't think it went anywhere. Otherwise, I would have heard about it. That basically wanted to do an under 1,000 USD value exemption from capital gains for spending crypto. So then, if I bought like $100 dinner at someplace and I spend Dash, they wouldn't even care about capital gains there because it's just too small. It's like once you start going over that thing. Now I don't know if it's like computed like 1,000 over the course of a year or 1,000 at a time. I think what would
Yeah.
help
That
even
makes
better
everything
is
easy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
but
But even if it's 1,000 per year, like it would help out. Like you could just like do smaller spendings and don't worry about it. And whenever you have a big spending, you just exclude it from your smaller spendings, and
hmm
then you still have like some leeway.
I either juice 2075 on Odyssey.
Prove it, it's not easy. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you're a technical person like us, it's not that hard because like we know how crypto works and like we can go back at like it's all in the blockchain. So as long as
Mm-hmm.
you know like your address, you can go on the blockchain and just look it up. But like a normal person, it's very complicated. So most people just if they do this long-term holding, they just
Mm-hmm.
make a paper wallet or just have like a hardware wallet and just make a new address and then just write like a label on it. Oh, I received this or bought this like at this time and place. And then when they want to spend it, then I mixed like my Dash, and now I have like I don't know 12,000 denominations of something like of 0.0001 Dash. Good luck. Like I cannot keep track of that anymore. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and if you don't mix, other people can figure out a service where they could, if you gave your XPub keys or whatever for your wallet, they could even figure out, the taxes and stuff for the private send transactions,
Yeah,
which I'm
yeah.
sure is a huge help, but that costs money too. But yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing to see this world that's just moving so fast, and then have to think about how you're going to be an adult about it. You know what I'm saying?
And Cash App or like there's I think many apps in the US where you can easily Robinhood just get some crypto and you just treat it as like a stock and you never actually use it. You just like invest in it and
Yeah.
withholding of the taxes and stuff.
Which is very smart for like an average person kind of
Yeah.
point of view, because that's what most people want to buy Doge for, is just so they get a bunch of Doge and it goes up and they moon wow Lambo and then they get it out. That's kind of what
Do you
most.
know where most volume is? Is it like Robinhood and Cash App for Dogecoin?
I don't Williams concerned, but it's probably heavily Robinhood, I would
Yeah.
think, because
Yeah,
if
just saw an article, 25 billion Dogecoin whale lurks on Robinhood. I don't
yeah,
know. So they have some coins, I guess.
yeah, and of course they don't mind. Of course they don't mind paying several dollar fees to move their Dogecoin, because it
Yeah.
just,
Exchange is like its own like mini Lightning network. It's
yeah,
just not decentralized.
which, you know, reminds me, of course, if you didn't see in the background, I just put some like Cointelegraph Lightning Network picture on the screen. Shout out to Cointelegraph.
Yeah.
And this one's just running a Lightning node. Not very successful. I can't figure out how to get, there's something that's making it not show up on the, I guess, the block explorer for Lightning nodes. And there's some other problems. So as soon as I start actually receiving transactions with it, I'll let you guys know. But basically, yeah, as I did in a video recently, it's pretty complicated how to use Lightning backend. There's just so many little things that go wrong, so many other things. And it's basically
To have the time and what didn't want to do it like constantly updating, and there's always like new stuff coming out. You need to be up to date. Like, oh, one, it's just too much work.
And I do use Linux, but only Ubuntu, and almost all of it is like the graphical user interface, and that part works really well. It's really easy to use. Ubuntu's great, but when something goes slightly off, and then it's like, I gotta open the terminal, and it's like, like Ubuntu works fantastic. Like 300, where you have to like, oh my god, this repository didn't update the right way, and now this thing doesn't work, and I gotta go dig through the command line to lead around, basically.
Yes, and it doesn't seem to get easier. Like 3 years ago, it was hard. I think I did it on Litecoin, like, and broke, and then I never fixed it and said whatever. No one is using it on Litecoin anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but at least this umbrella thing seems to be easy enough, so people can just get it up and running. If they have a Raspberry Pi, I think you need like a huge hard disk, like 500
1
gigabytes or
terabyte.
10.
I have like nothing but good things to say about Umbrel, even though they built their product on top of just a horrendous user experience, like base platform. But Umbrel works really well because I mean, on Linux, I had to install a few different dependencies like Docker and Python 3 and a bunch of things like that, which most people are never going to do anything like that. Most Linux users should have no problem with Pi. But so I got to go in, and the good thing is it uses, I think, Neutrino to like a light node thingy while you're syncing the blocks, and as soon as the blocks are finished syncing, it just turns that off and goes straight to regular old Bitcoin Core. So you should start to be able to use it right, which I understand that's the way it's meant to be done. But if you want someone to run a node and you're like, all right, well, you need to buy several $100s worth of hardware, which is, it's not a lot of money, but compared to no money, it's a lot of money.
Keeps your stuff safe, like especially if you have no clue and don't want to be involved in like understanding everything. Hardware wallet, problem solved. But for this, you're not solving any problems. Like you're just doing it for the tech, and I don't know.
Yes, there is one thing, because channels for you back end and things like that work pretty well. They're not. Of course, it's Lightning. It's not going to work seamlessly, right? But compared to other things, it works like a regular mobile wallet. But the one thing I needed a node for was there's this Atom where basically your Lightning node public key is in your RSS feed. Wallet is one of these that has a podcast player in there. You can choose to stream Satoshis to the podcaster for how long you. And so I want to like, sure, I'll run my own node, figure this out. And of course, that was a couple months ago. I'm still trying to. I'm still not there. But there are a couple of extras for me, and I'll only pay like $10, $15 a month for it. But I mean, first off, it's a custodial solution that you're paying a provider. And then you pay like for a small creator, that's a lot. I can't afford to be paying all these fees. Or then there's another service where this guy will just do it for you. It's something like Telegram bot or whatever. He'll do it for you, and I'm very grateful for people that do these kinds of things. But the entire reason
could it also be implemented into a wallet of Satoshi or Blue Wallet? Then it would solve your problem, wouldn't it?
Possibly. The thing is, I think it needs the full Lightning. Generation 2 Lightning wallets like Breeze and Phoenix they're technically a Lightning node themselves, just to connect to a node. Like, it doesn't really work like that. And so
it must be live and basically talk to the other node, get the payment request, do it.
Podcasting 2.0 thing of the value. It's not only for Lightning. You could put other cryptocurrency information in there as well. Player and start sending the money. And because the way Lightning works, you can kind of just have it stream in little sats over time. A Dash extended public key, for example. And then if you choose to tip, it just brings up a new one in the wallet and you pay it. More of us using it. But, if you had like a bunch of coins, even if people would end up using just one, it still kind of work.
But it's hard to count. Like everything based on Ethereum is like impossible to use. Bitcoin is like completely useless on the first layer. So, and even good projects, like I really liked Wave last year, like we used in the company internally to send around, and we do this like every day. But now the fees in Waves become like 10 cent, 20 cent. Now we cannot easily send around like 20 cents of like tips anymore. And even a beer now costs like 20-cent fee, and that's not longer fun. And before it was like 0.1 cent fee, like no one cared.
Yeah. It's unfortunate the way the thing works. You can of course still have Dash, Litecoin for now, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV. I wouldn't even put Dogecoin because they haven't even fixed their fee thing.
It's too expensive, yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
but
1 million Doge Satoshi things.
Yeah,
it's too expensive now.
And there's like other coins out there that could probably work pretty well, but people don't like. I don't see people. One very interesting project that sort of suffers from this, I think, is Decred, because Decred is supposedly, is making a lot of innovations in the governance space, going at a similar thing the way Dash did it, but in a completely different direction. And they're building a lot of cool technology on it and stuff, but no one uses Decred, as far as I know. No one uses Decred for anything. I mean, even Dash has like very few transactions compared to, it's like in a very early days Bitcoin kind of volumes, but Decred has like 5,000 a day or something, and I don't see people buying it because they're all focused on the governance thing. They're all focused on not everything except what is it? Well, it's money. Well, what do you do with money? You buy things with it. Okay. And so like I would love to like advocate something like that, include Decred as well. But who would use it? Probably no one. I mean, that's the thing, is like at least Monero people use 20, sometimes 30,000 a day right now, which is it's not bad.
But I just calculated on Decred, which kept becoming expensive.
Yeah.
And that's a minimum fee. Like you have to pay more if the blockchain is full. So you have the same competing problem like with all other blockchains. But as you said, no one is using it. I never use it to send anything around. I think I only had it on an exchange like long time.
They probably can. They probably will. The thing with Decred is I believe they're trying to they're going for the Bitcoin style scaling. So they want Lightning Network in the wallet. They want a CoinJoin plus as they call it. They want that in their wallet. Off-chain scaling is going to be even kind of challenging.
Yeah, Decred is an interesting project, but I haven't looked at it in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see what else. So the other thing I was going to talk about was, of course, Now, which is very nice. Yeah. I do tell them to, and I have the link in the description so they move over. And the coolest thing about Odysee right now, so trying to get paid, trying to get donations is a difficult prospect, obviously. And what people like, because they like to do an exchange. So if they just donate money, they don't really get anything except some weird. You pay to get your message noticed and stuff. So it's a donation, but it's also you get something out of it. You get the special recognition. It's the scarcity is the podcast host time, or whoever the streamer's time, and you get a piece of that. That's what you're paying for. And so I've noticed that ever since I've done this little live CoinTree chat down here, but also on Odysee Hyper Chats, all of a sudden like the tips and donation stuff from people gone way up. And so that's a great use case. And so far, let's see how many. It's something that's really cool because on YouTube, first off, you have to have a bank and all that, and they can demonetize you at any time. It sucks. Yeah. But then they also make you give up 30% of your super chats to them. Like they take 30%. It's pretty crazy. And you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, and I think at least something like 4,000 hours over a monthly thing of like watch time, or some large requirement. So basically you have to be streaming a whole lot just to be able to be
1,000 subscribers and enough hours, don't you?
I don't know if I have enough hours because I only stream like let's just say this is
Oh,
1 hour.
because you didn't stream, like it was normally a podcast and then you uploaded it.
Well, but I do stream it all like to YouTube. So I do 6 live podcasts, 6 hours. It's how many people view those that counts as an
Ah,
hour.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if one
yeah.
person views the whole hour, and so I don't, let's
So
just
if you have
say,
a million viewers, you reach it easy, but if you only have 1,000 viewers, it takes a long time. Yeah.
yeah. So let's just say I get like 100 or so viewers for each of those hours, which be streaming all the time, and that's assuming they watch the whole time through. Like I'd be
Yeah.
streaming all the time to just so. There's another case where a blockchain token uh, does yeah, it does really well.
Makes it much easier. Like all the little guys can finally participate. Yeah. Because
Yes,
currently the cake is only for the big guys.
yeah. So yeah, Maker Channel,
And
also known as Kodaks, is complaining nobody recognized my message. Yes, I did. He says he gave me 5 LBC. Says have some LBC. Oh, I don't, I don't speak Esperanto, but whatever. And yeah, and also what's funny? I was talking about the overlays earlier about like the super chats, like how I have it with Cointree set up, but Library Lytics commented with a super chat or hyper chat, and so hey,
cool.
mission accomplished. You got your thing. I opened up the tab right now, and I'll check that out after the next podcast is over and stuff. But hey, it works out. So yeah, just again, real usage, real use cases for crypto right there, and yeah, awesome stuff.
I was also check it out. I have a live stream tomorrow, and we are still learning. We don't have a good setup yet, but we are adding more and more stuff every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't you plug whatever stream you have before we get off
Yeah.
here?
So currently we are on Twitch TV because we have more of
Mm-hmm.
a game development background,
And
and
what's the channel?
it's just called DeltaEngine. So Twitch TV DeltaEngine, but it's the same on YouTube. I think you can find it with my name, like Benjamin
Mm-hmm.
Nitschke on YouTube. Yeah, but yeah, I will try that as well. Like I want to stream to Facebook, to YouTube, Twitch, and then Odysee.
His mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
So thanks very much for being on. I'll try to check out the stream. I'm usually running around doing a million things on Saturday, but I'll try to see if I can be there for that.
it's for coders, so we don't have many viewers. Like it's like 5 to 10 viewers, but maybe we grow.
And are coders into streams? It seems
No.
like it's more complicated, technical, that they just want to watch a video after the fact, and then
Yes,
they want to
and
like,
that's what we do. Like we upload the video afterwards on YouTube, and I think most views we get there.
yeah, and they don't know about live chats. They only communicate through
No.
GitHub. Comes Ben for being on. Has been a great show.
Yep.
In like 3, 4, 5 minutes, something like that. As soon as I get this switched over, it's time for the Dash podcast with Brian Foster, who's the product owner for Dash, and so
Cool.
that's gonna be really cool. So yeah, thanks
I will
everyone for
check it out.
watching. And if you're on Odyssey right now, new stream thing to pop up. But yeah, so anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys later.